Hey there, coaches. My name is Rich Hargitt, and I'm the head football coach at Emmett High School, and I'm also a lead consultant for coaches all over the country with the surface-to-air system. In this video, I want to take a look at our if-then protocol for calling plays, and I want to sort of take you through some of the thinking of how we build effective play calling menus inside the surface-to-air system. First thing I want to do is make sure you can reach me if you have any questions. You can see my cell phone number there, my personal email address. You can also find me on Twitter at Coach Hargitt. If you'd like to head to our website, you can find us at richhargittfootball.com. There's a whole host of books, videos, courses, membership options, anything you might be interested in over there on our website. So I'd strongly suggest you head over there and check out that whole host of resources if that's something that you're deeply interested in. What we're going to talk about with this if-then menu is I kind of invite you to think about your offense and the defense sort of as a symbiotic relationship. So what I mean by that is ask yourself the question, if the defense is doing this, then we should be doing that. Okay, now that sounds rather simple. Let me give an example of the sheet that I give my box coach. Let's say that I want to run triple option, number one right there, against a 40 front defense with the one technique aligned on the backside. You can see all that stuff is pretty simple, pretty easy to read. Well, I want to have my box coach read number one. So let's just read number one together. We can run this because we can thick to the B- gap. I'm telling my box coach, check and see how the defense attempts to account for dive, quarterback, and pitch. Okay, if I wanted something more like GT counter down at number 9, I'm telling my box coach we can get an easy block back on the one technique, but we should alert triple option. If the will follows the pullers, we should be calling triple option, dash, which is a little bit of a derivative of GT counter. Bash is the call if they squeeze scrape. I'm giving him some information to help him digest what he's watching out there and what he should be thinking as he's watching those things. So back to this more theoretical framework of if-then. Let's give ourselves a quick and simple example. Let's say if the defense has a defensive end who's playing the quarterback, all right? That would mean that that guy is sitting on the edge of the box and he is definitely not squeezing to take away the dive, and he's sort of feathering. He's sitting on the edge of the box and he's dissecting the play. If it's a pass play, he's going to come off the edge late and be a free rusher, most likely. If it's a run play, he's going to sit on the edge of the box and then he's going to squeeze down his gap late and try to buy time for a fallback player, maybe a linebacker or a strong safety, to get involved. One of the things we should do if they're doing this is execute split zone. Okay, why do we need this? Well, we need this because I want to make our entire staff and our players aware of the why. The why is critical. Okay, why do we need to be running split zone? Well, guys, this is what the defensive end is doing, and we don't feel like we can handle him effectively unless we can do that. How does this make us better? I think what it does is it really focuses our attention down on the most basic premise of what we're trying to attack on the defense. When you see that third question, what are our alerts? Okay, the defensive end's not going to always operate in that consistent pattern. He may do something different. Maybe he's going to spike and try to wrong arm our puller. Well, then we should probably be running some form of triple option or zone read where we get the quarterback on the edge with a bluffing fullback going around to pick up the scraper. Maybe we should send the fullback through the formation and throw a flat route. There's a whole host of things. What I think you should do is you should have your box coach have that as an alert. You can see here we have a few alerts in red on our sheet. What that's doing is it's kind of giving our coach, again, something to look at, and I'm telling him to alert to a certain call or to a certain tag if we get something specific. All right, I think an easy example of that would be if I get that defensive end start trying to wrong arm my puller, I'm just going to tell my fullback or tight end to miss him, go around and get the scraping linebacker, and we're going to tell the quarterback to pull the football and run some sort of zone read or triple option to get to the edge of the box. That's going to be an alert for us. So I'm telling my coaches, look for that, alert that, be prepared for that. If he doesn't do that and he just sits on the line, well, then I can split zone him and I can hand the ball off if I have numbers. If I don't have numbers, I should be pulling the ball and throwing the RPO. Life gets really simple. Now we're all speaking the same language. How do we build this as a staff? Well, I think the first point is did you watch film together? Did you watch it separately? How did you build your game plan? What I prefer is to have my staff watch the game plan, to watch the film independently, come up with their own ideas and their own pieces of the puzzle, and then bring it back together as a staff and really build out our game plan together. Come up with some really significant thoughts on how we want it all to look. Let's switch over to a whiteboard here, and let's talk about kind of a simple version of this. Let's say that you've got a defense, and again, let's make this very, very simple. You have a defense that's playing too high, right? Here we go. They're in a too high structure. They probably have the nickel over here. They're playing with a 5, a shade, a 3, a 5, and we're getting something like that, okay? We're getting some sort of structure similar to that. I know that's really simple. Not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody's going to line up that way. I always hear that all the time. People have their own versions and opinions, but let's just make life simple for ourselves for a minute, okay? We're going to run zone to the right. We're going to account for all these players, okay? And we know that the defensive end is a quarterback player. If that's the case, let's come across, let's kick him out. Well, the simple answer here should be I have 6 dedicated blockers and a ball carrier and a defensive end or a 5 technique who's playing the quarterback. He's essentially eliminated himself as a significant threat to tackling the dive back. That means I've got cutback lanes, and life is pretty good to hand that football off. I can now mix in RPOs and control their other defenders, and we've got a pretty good football play. Now, that might be the reason why, is I just simply want to get numbers, and I think I can run the football on them. The other thing that might be the reason why I want to do this is perhaps because I want to push the RPOs further down the field. And I'm concerned that that defensive end is a quarterback player, and he's going to come rushing up the field, and he's going to try to get in the quarterback's face after he realizes that it's an RPO. I don't want to leave him unblocked or unaccounted for. So by swiping that tight end across, what it allows me to do is really build out a little bit more aggressive RPO package where maybe we're heading down the field, we're taking a little bit longer routes, we're being a little bit more aggressive in the throw game portion of our RPO world. Okay, so that might be the reason why. So again, if we go back to the PowerPoint, if the defense has a 5 technique or defensive end who is a dedicated quarterback player, then we should be running split zone. Okay, so since we know that, we now can build several different split zone concepts that really allow us to be successful against that defense. And again, I could move this tight end. I could put him over here and have him split zone from there. I could have him in line and account for. There's a whole host of different ways I can do that. But by being able to know what the goal is of the offense relative to how I'm seeing the defense react, I'm able to create this if-then mentality and make life a little bit easier for my staff to participate in the play calling. So again, you could put whatever you wanted in there. You can put any kind of if this, then that protocol in there that you think is applicable. It really doesn't matter. Just start fitting it into that framework, and what you'll find is you get some really good plays. So I gave you a couple examples here that I wanted to share with you of this if-then. Okay, and it is controlled by a whole host of different situations. In this game, we're in 12P, all right? We're in 12P. There's one tight end right there. Here's the other one back here. And I'm running split zone here because I'm facing a cover 0 defense, all right? I'm facing a defense that's bringing a lot of pressure, and I have a backup quarterback in the game, and I have the lead, okay? So I don't want to take a risk here. Our quarterback's out injured. I don't want to do something dumb and turn the ball over. So I know their defensive end, there he is right there. He's a quarterback player. He's stepping up. He's not squeezing. I don't want to risk that my quarterback's going to pull the ball, get hit, fumble the ball, have an exchange issue. So I'm giving him an easy answer. Can you throw the ball to these 2 guys? If the answer is no, you're just going to hand it off, because now we have numbers in the box. I can hand it off. I can pick up 5 yards, and I can keep the clock moving. I can put myself in a position to be successful and hopefully win the game. Now, there's other reasons why you might want to do this. All right, this particular game, you saw it from the end zone view first. I've got a freshman quarterback in the game. All right, and he's a young player, and I want to make his life very simple. I don't want him to stress out. We know that the defensive end is a quarterback player. You can see him coming up the field. We're going to split zone him. We're going to hand the football off. Again, we're going to make life simple. All right, I think simplicity is a factor. We know this defensive end is a quarterback player. We know he's not interested in squeezing down on the dive. In other words, we know there's a pretty good likelihood we're going to be able to run the dive whenever we want to. So we're just ensuring there's no chance the quarterback gets hit. He doesn't have to think. If he doesn't have a guaranteed throw on the RPO, he's just going to hand this football off and make his life very simple. It's 2nd and 7, hand it off, make it 1st and 10, keep the ball moving, make things simple. Now, another consideration is maybe I want to throw the RPO. Maybe I know there's a good chance I'm going to be able to throw the RPO. If that's the case, then having this split zone on might be a great idea. Here I'm getting basically off man, quarters off man. I want to throw the RPO, so I'm running split zone so that there's no chance my quarterback's getting hit. You might say, well, coach, why don't you just throw a drop back? Well, I have a young quarterback in the game. I don't want to throw drop back and invite overload pressure. So I'm keeping life simple by just giving him an RPO with split zone. The box is loaded. He's outnumbered. So he knows already, based upon our radar method, which is how we read RPOs, he's going to have to pull and throw the football. He knows that already. So look how quickly he gets the ball out, and you pick up 12 yards, and you get a first down. All right, we've got a dedicated quarterback player. He's going to play quarterback. We know he would come off the edge right there, and he'd be rushing the quarterback hard and get in his face when he realized it's a pass. Okay, but he can't do that because we've blocked him with a tight end. We've split zoned him. Because we've split zoned him, now I don't have to worry about my quarterback under pressure. He can long mesh, get the ball out, convert that first down, and move those chains. Okay? Same situation. Heavy aggressive team here in the too high world. And I want to give my quarterback a choice of hand the ball off. It's 2nd and 5. We're in that kind of tweener world, down in distance. Can I throw it? Or do I need to be handing the football off? Well, if you count this box, this does not look advantageous to us. Okay? I count 6 dedicated rushers. We could make that guy really a 7th. The numbers are cloudy. They're not good. We've got leverage out here. Again, if you have questions about this, kind of go back to our website and consult our radar manual or our radar video at richhargittfootball.com. And it'll really give you some insight into this. There's the split zone. Easy pitch and catch. Easy first down. Just another crystal clear example of all of our kids and all of our coaches are understanding this. They know the defensive end's a quarterback player. Let's account for him. Let's get the ball in space, and let's pick up first downs. All right? Here we are again. We know we want to throw the RPO. We knew this team did not honor the front door. Okay? That's what we in S2A call the non-read side. So we're running zone to the right. We're split zoning to the left. Okay? We know we've got some kind of triple game going over here. That front door glance route right there is going to be premium. We're going to have a great chance to throw that. We know that, so let's run split zone away. Let's take the tight end away, okay, account for that quarterback player, and now we know we've got the time to mesh and throw off the mesh and pick up another first down. Okay, that's just a great job of our kids understanding that the quarterback is going to need the time. All right, this guy's a quarterback player over here. If I don't account for him and he comes off the edge hot, he would have hit the quarterback right in the side of the helmet as he tried to deliver that football. Because we built it off split zone, it gives us a little bit better opportunity to get that ball out on time and on target without the quarterback being under duress. All right, similar situation here. Later in the game, more of a mop-up duty situation. We got a young quarterback in the game. We know we've got a quarterback player in number 30 down here at the bottom of the screen. Let's make it easy. Either throw the RPO or hand the ball off. No quarterback run involved. Hand the ball off. pick up a first down. Life's very, very simple. Okay? That's back to that if-then menu. If we know we have a defensive end, a 5-technique player out here that is going to account for the quarterback, then split zone is a great option. Now, it could have been anything, right? You could have said power that week. You could have said counter. You could have said any variety of things on your if-then menu. The point is that you came up with something, and as a staff, you understand it, and you articulated it, and you practiced it all week. Now there's a really high probability of success that you're going to be good at it and that things are going to fit well. Okay, again, kind of that mop-up duty situation. We just want to hand off the split zone. We're trying to run the game out here. We know that they're a quarterback player on the edge. All right, nice and easy for our quarterback. He's got numbers in the box. He can just hand that ball off. He's not under stress. He's not being forced to make critical decisions at the end of the game. Things are going to go well for him. All right, here's a tight end base split zone. We feel like we've got numbers in the box here. This is a 4-3 team. They've got a guy on the wrong side of the box. They have not balanced their numbers up. You can see right here we have a huge open gap over here. They don't have enough people. All right, we know that the defensive end is a quarterback player. He's going to stand on the edge of the box. There he is. We can account for him. We can hand the ball off. If we don't want to throw the RPO, then we can hand the ball off, and we have a great probability of that being successful and being a touchdown for us. Here it is from the end zone view. Numbers are good. They're trying to bring pressure off the edge. We know we're going to have high degree of success handing the ball off. Hand it off, walk in the end zone, 6 points, good football. Okay? So that kind of brings us back to the top. So let's just go circle back one more time and kind of consult this. It does not fundamentally matter what concept you try to fit into this framework. That's not the overarching issue. The issue is that you have this simple statement that allows you to really understand how you want to utilize this type of thinking to make the game better for yourself. If the defense does this, then we should do that. Okay? And I could have fit anything in there. Let's say I would have said, if the defense is blitzing their middle linebacker off the 3-technique side, then we should be calling A-gap power from 21 personnel. That would be a great philosophical example of how I would put that together. If you went over to this sheet, and you've got to include all this, right? You've got to make this decision how much you want to put in there. All right? And that is a consideration. That's something you got to think about. So that would bring us to number 7 on this list. We can get an easy block back on a 1-technique, then that's a great call. Okay? Anytime we can get a good block back on their 1-technique, I think we can run power against a 40 front. I think it's a great answer for us. So you just have to decide how complicated you want this to be, and you have to decide how much verbiage do you want in there. But again, I don't think it matters how long or how short. You just need a simple theoretical framework for if they do this, then we do that. And then as coaches, you just sit around and go, what are they doing? What is this defense trying to accomplish? Well, they're bringing a lot of pressure. Okay, well, if they bring a lot of pressure, then we want to do these things. And write it down. I'm a big fan of get a notebook out and write it down with a pen and paper. Because I think when you commit these things to writing, as a staff, you come together and you go, hey, we all just saw the same thing. Now, if you get a staff together and you didn't all see the same thing, that's a whole other issue. As a coordinator, you got to have that conversation. But if 5 of you are in a room and 5 of you said, hey, these guys bring overload pressure from the field, and we all said we want to throw this screen into the pressure and we want to run this run away from the pressure, well, now you've got your game plan. It's nailed down. The next step is from what personnel? Do we want to shift? Do we want to motion? Do we want to stick to one personnel grouping? All of these conversations get easier if you just simply answer the if-then framework. And I think life gets pretty simple if you're able to put things together that way. All right, coaches, I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you got something out of this you can use. By all means, reach out to me if you have questions. And again, head over to our website. Let me know if there's anything we can do for you to make this process more streamlined and help you out. I hope this if-then protocol is something you can use. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day, coaches.